Day to day. I mean, he did a little bit today. We'll see how he responds again tomorrow.
Was it the back that got folded over?
Yeah, you got. Speaking of your love for Taco Bell, he's kind of got tacoed up a little bit. Accordion, different than how I saw when it happened. But I think he feels better what I thought he would feel this time.
You mentioned after the game the other night, like there's a guy like obviously Blackwell plays well. Isaac, if Connor can't go, those guys you've got to feel them if they didn't first.
Yeah, I mean that's what we've always planned. The next guy has got to step up, and that's the benefit. You don't want to have injuries, but if something does happen, we've got guys ready to go.
What does a little bit look like? Did he sit out of anything?
Yeah, he was just doing some mostly stuff with the trainer today. So he did some stuff this morning too in our shooting groups.
See, Gus is back too. Has he been back for the last couple practices? Or
No, today's his first day back.
Sure. Does that mean he's going to be technically active for the game? Or?
Technically active?
He's going to be active for the game?
Yeah, I guess whatever you call that.
How much behind is he? I mean, because he had missed some time before we came in to watch some of the practices. I mean, does he have a lot of ground to make up?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, just getting him back to practice, I think, is step one of what he's going through. So we'll just continue to take that day by day too. And now we're into game prep mode, so I've got a pretty good idea of who I'm going to have on the floor. And we'll just keep walking forward with who's going right now and catch him up to speed as we can.
Big game on Friday. I don't know if you heard or not, but Tennessee comes to town.
Yeah.
What do you expect to see from the
doozy for
Volunteers?
middle November.
Right.
They're good. I mean, 3 fifth-year guys. Picked to win the SEC. Obviously, Rick's done a really good job there. Vescovi, he landed in America the day we played in Knoxville 4 years ago, and James was a freshman. So a couple guys that James is the same age as Tyler. They were both true freshmen at the time. So, really good team. Number one in the country last year defensively. Have the look of a lot of the same components. A really, really good team that it's going to be a tremendous test for us. Second game of the year.
You expect a big crowd to get you all fired up.
Better be.
Yeah.
Better be. I mean, that's to have this type of game. These type of games don't happen in home and homes anymore. I mean, people, for whatever reason, don't play them. So, between the one we have, with Tennessee and our annual one with Marquette, and Arizona. So, I like those, kind of old school home and home matchups. And this one lines up to be, you never know when you schedule one 6-7 years ago where each team's going to be. But for us, it's a good time to get extremely well tested Friday night.
Last week we saw Chucky, or this Monday we saw Chucky 6 assists, but another guy who was involved a lot in those pick and roll actions was Max Klesmit. What do you think he provides in those sets, and what do you like about him also having a little more of a role?
I like his decision making. That's what I like. I mean, he's done a really good job of being patient off ball screens, understanding when to pinch defenders off, when to go to the rim, knows where his teammates are around him and what we're doing with spacing, and like I said, just has a good pace about it. It's coming off ball screens is not always, in fact, most of the time it's not coming 100 miles an hour. It's coming with some pace, and you're reading what's going on, and his ability to make the right decision has been really good.
Another thing,
The rest of them don't have questions. Go ahead.
Talking about the different, rotations that you're going to play.
Right.
We've seen Steve and Tyler work a lot, and you've pushed it to the post a lot and tried to incorporate different actions out of the post. Do you also envision, the same amount that you had last year, even with the amount of pick and rolls that you're putting on, at least that we saw in the first game?
Pushing it to the post and running?
No, facilitating out of the post.
It's a great playmaking position. That'll never change. I mean, that's when you have bigs that can pass like ours can. It's a great place to put the ball because the defense, the fire alarms get pulled with the defense because the ball's tight to the rim, and then with the ability to score in there with those two guys specifically, and then you surround them with playmakers and shooters, and you run actions intentionally at times, throw it in and then run some actions around it. So I think there's a lot of different ways to set that up, but playing through the paint is priority number one, however we get it in there, trying to get the ball deep in the paint and play from there, whether it's at the rim or driving and kicking or kicking it out for shooters. We need to do that and do more of it.
Steven's distributing a lot of high post with all the off-ball cutters you have. Is that going to be a place that he's camping at times this year? Or?
In the high post?
Yeah.
I mean, that's stuff we've worked, we've started to implement that probably four years ago. I started moving the post around a little bit, and so it's a little bit of the Princeton hybrid look. I think we had bigs that, I've thought we've had bigs that could pass and just spreads the floor a little bit more. So, put him where he does things the best. And, he makes really good decisions. He always has in his career here. Really good feel for the game at his size, doesn't get sped up or rattled. So it's a good weapon. Like I said, when you have bigs that can pass, specifically your 2 7-footers like Nolan and Steve can, it's a good combination to play, whether it's together or one backing up the other.
He's obviously really comfortable taking it slow, backing it down in the low post though too. I mean,
he's got great patience
but when there's so much movement, like the game this past Monday, I mean, does that, like, how could he fit both of those into, I guess, one single game when there's a lot of off-ball cutting, there's so much, fast pace and fast break?
I think the biggest thing is just be patient, take your time, make sure you know what you see before you throw the ball. I think that's the one thing is with post players, the really good ones have patience to them. They read it, they see what's coming. Is a double team coming? Is there traffic? Do I have to throw it over the top to a cutter? Can I drop it to the floor? Can I throw it out and repost and get myself deeper? Can I score? I mean, there's things that a post player goes through a checklist as they make decisions in there. And then again, trying to give him space too where he can score. So how do you spread the floor around him while they run that action, but not sit guys on top of it? And you still want to let him operate if he can and get his own, baskets at the rim and shots at the rim. But it's a cat and mouse game a little bit with are you doing it intentionally to touch the post or are you doing it to create some action on the perimeter? And there's a dose of both.
You were asked this type of the game, but about the press, as you're working on, did you see some things in there you can work with as you move forward with that?
Yeah, there's been some things I've liked, and I pulled it off mostly in the second half because of the fouls. We didn't need to pick up fouls 80 feet from the basket. We're fouling enough in the half court. We need to do more, but it's a work in progress, and I think it's something our guys have got better at. And we've worked on it quite a bit. So I think it's helped us at times. Maybe not in huge bunches or been extremely noticeable, but I think it's something good to have in our toolbox.
I think Blackwood is good in that role, however you use him when he's on the court in that role.
Yeah.
Just because of his energy and defense.
Yeah, and his awareness and his defensive IQ is really good. I think they've all gotten better at it since we started really drilling it and breaking it down in June. And now we got to keep working on it, see where we can use it, and where it's not applicable.
Speaking about the press, with the depth that you guys have, having more guys, are you more comfortable using the press, knowing that you can substitute guys more often?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're doing it. So it is the depth, and I think this group has a chance to be effective with it.
And talking about the fouls from the last game, do you think there's any inherent solution in trying to not necessarily be less physical, but just not draw the whistle as much?
Be fundamentally more sound defensively, not leave our feet, not jump around, not get out of position, stay in a stance, things that are all correctable. But yeah, those are the reasons we got the fouls. It was because of what we weren't in the right position, didn't rotate, left our feet, all kinds of things that we talk about a lot not to do. They got to see why you don't do them. So.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All good?
Yep.